Good afternoon. Tell me, kids, as always. Today, Friday, been busy, tired, but I still have energy to say something about revolution. Something on my mind, like Facebook, Meta always ask, what is on your mind? What is on my mind? I'm gonna talk about corruption in Uganda. And this is what prompted me that I should say, let me put on my glasses. This is what prompted me to come and say, I must say something about it. But before we go ahead, we're gonna hear the extent, the report about corruption in 2021 by the IGG that was on 1st of March, read by Museveni, Yoweri Museveni. And he's not ashamed. No action was taken on that day. If you hear this as a Ugandan, you are going to be embarrassed. Open your eyes. There is no sensation, but this is a fact.
An assessment from the Inspector General of Government, and each one of you would get a copy. The IGG, this was issued on the 1st of March 2021. It is the latest IGG report about corruption in the country. The cap was taken of corruption was taken by police general, the general police. I think these are the ones in uniform. You scored 70% in corruption. So you got a distinction in corruption. This is the police general. Traffic police were the runners up in corruption. They got 67%. CID police, 57%. Courts of law, land tribunals, 53%. Land offices, 53%. Public health facilities, hospitals, health centers, 47%. District service commissions, 45%. Agriculture extension services, NADS, Operation Wealth Creation. So Sare also got some. He scored some. He was the number 8 in the corruption. So then my problem is, but what happened to my educated people, whom I struggled so much?
Hello. Now, my argument, corruption is keeping Museveni in power, is one of the tools that he uses. You see, corruption is one of the way that is keeping Museveni in power. As we speak for now, it contributes about like 90% because he has got to buy his way to stay in power. That is what it is. And also, when you hear Muhoozi project, it's about corruption because people they know around Muhoozi, they're gonna be money around him. They're gonna be money to splash. They're gonna be money to take away. He's vulnerable. He will dish any money anywhere. You remember what Gashumba said, that on the generation of Bobby Wine, everybody should make money for now. And that is what is happening. Our president has become commercial in a way which is negative, in a way which is positive. Positive, you can sell him anywhere. Brands, you can buy anything. But there are negatives that people, they come in NEP, they use NEP poster, and then they will get money from Museveni, from Kanyarugaba, from NRA. They are desperate to cling on power. So we cannot ignore the word corruption, 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 corruption. What the danger, the impact on society, the country will never develop. The country will always lack services. Integrity will go. The independence of any institutions will not be anywhere. So when corruption is habitable, as bad as in Uganda, that is what we are now. So corruption and the corruption is happening in Uganda. And we have to talk about it because it's one way that is keeping Museveni into power, you like it or not. I was prompted to come and speak about corruption. I've written this title, this topic for quite a long time, for few days, because I read this tweet by Betty Kamya, the IGG, Inspector General, the person who is meant to be in charge of our what, when he says she condemned those people who made the recordings at Entebbe Airport. So in Uganda, that is where we are now. They support somebody who has done something wrong. The whole country, people, they are struggling to separate what to say, what to do. They just carry on defending the wrong people. That is where we are failing. We are failing the word good governance. When you talk about good governance, you must talk about transparency. Where did the money go? How did you spend the money? Accountability. Give us how that money, how did you handle? How did you distribute that money? Did you use check? Did you make mobile money? We need accountability for that money. And then we need rule of law. When you see rule of law, now what you see? Corruption. You can see that in Uganda, a police was caught stealing things from victims, from the people he was arresting. And then when you talk about corruption, you must be responsive. You must respond in a timely manner. You should not leave it to go on for years. Respond. Put their time scale. Say we are going to respond issues to do with the corruption within 2 weeks, within 2 days, within 24 hours. But in Uganda, it goes on and on and on and on. This woman who took money from Bajenda, she's there walking free. Mama Mbabas is walking free. Temangalo, we have got scandals and after scandals. 6 billion handshake. The handles, it's going on and on and on. So when you talk about corruption, that is where we are failing now. Betty Kamya is cautioning, is condemning whoever reported. Government entity, people who are paid as people to look after our institution, to see they run so smooth. You don't pay money. Now they are being protected by the IGG, who is saying, no, you shouldn't report people. Now there is a note, you should not report. You should not take any video while you are in Entebbe Airport. That is absolutely wrong, and I condemn it. So when we talk about corruption, we must talk about corruption. When you hear what Museveni find out about Ugandans, this is what he said. I wanted to have a video, but it wasn't possible. So that is how Museveni find out that Ugandans, they love money, and wherever they will have money, will be, whether there is death, Ugandans, they will come for money. So we have to know all that is politics. When you come in politics, you have to know the people, that the weakness in people, how you take advantage. And when you hear the report being read by Museveni, 70%, when you look at the key areas, In Uganda, where corruption happens, it shouldn't happen, I'm telling you. They said the police 70%. Museveni went on to say even his brother, half brother, Saleh, got to number 8. So the reason I'm saying corruption is keeping Museveni in power, when you read a report like that, when it tells you all these institutions, they are involved in corruption, you take action. But the fact he didn't take action, that means he somehow is benefiting with the corruption going ahead. That is what she told you to Betty Kamya. Don't bother about these people who are being corrupt, because at the end of the day, they bring money back. They invest that in hotel, in business. Absolutely wrong. Wrong is wrong. Right is right. Money which is not yours is not yours. It doesn't matter how much money it is. It doesn't matter what people they say in Uganda, oh, it was only mitwalo kumi, simple money. No, when you talk about corruption, you will identify it in 3 types. There is grand theft that we had, billions and billions. When you hear our president yesterday said Museveni is corrupt, Museveni is the master of corruption, and every corruption case, it ends up at the door of the State House. And he said Museveni now is the governor, he doesn't have. So how comes we don't have a governor for over 1 year? Museveni has got the credit card for Uganda, and he's overspending, he's over and over, has got the pin, no one is stopping him to take any money. Something has got to be done, because the impact on the country is big. It means no services, where the key areas, the social issues, the education, the health, job creation, the housing, the transportation, the poverty. We don't have access to clean water and sanitation. In Uganda, they said to you, 10% of people, they are still going to toilet in the bush. They don't have even a pit ratchery. So that is how bad corruption is, the impact on society. The country can never develop when there is corruption, because that means the money which is meant to go for social services, for public services, is being diverted, is being mismanaged. When you talk about corruption, it has got 3 types of corruption: grand theft, there is petty, there is this aid theft. All that what is happening now, when you look at the key areas, as you heard in the video, corruption is mostly happening in the police. A department meant to investigate, to arrest people, to handle all these people. They are what corruption is about, is in the police. That is not acceptable. But when you look at corruption, the key areas where it happens in Uganda, it is embarrassment. We have got the Parliament of Uganda. Is one of the key areas that corruption happens. That is the Parliament. It shouldn't happen. And how does it happen in the Parliament? It is like people to pass bills, they get paid for money. You had in COVID, where Bobby Wine said he's not taking the 10 million. He's not taking that money because it is corruption. So now, as we can see, Anita Mongi gave out 40 millions. And this is Kabugo, NUP, Member of Parliament, took the money back. But he didn't, we don't know what ended up. He was sent into committee, inquiry, he admitted, and then he was forgiven. What we see now is started attending NRM meetings. So whatever is happening is bad. So as you can see, corruption has got in Uganda, it happens in Parliament. Unthinkable. Lawmakers, as you can see now, there is something to do with the Jennifer Bamtraki. She is now standing side by Anita Mongi, because there is a damning report on how she was appointed for as chief executive Uganda Airlines. Does she qualify? So what we see now, Parliament is one of the areas that corruption happens. Second area is the police. Police, you have to give bribe. They will stop you. You give them bribe. You go there, nothing for free. You have to buy fuel. You have to do this. And everything, as you remember, Nantaba had a fight with the Kaihura. She will bring a case for land grabbing, and then Kaihura will let off people. So that is how the corruption in the police is rotting. But what are the reasons behind of this corruption? Let me finish by these key areas. The key areas is the police, bribes at any will. And then we have got the judiciary. You had the story of this woman in Wamala. For me, I learned a lot how judiciary is being corrupt in Uganda. And then another key area where corruption happens in Uganda is we have got the parliament, we have got the customs, people to clear their goods is where corruption happens. There is no standard payment that you have to pay for this container, for this vehicle. People, they find themselves negotiating. Then we have got the administration. Administration, this is where we see Jennifer or Penetti. This is how they win tenders. Who wins the tenders? Who takes the tenders? That is a problem that we have now. Now, another key area is land. Land grabbing is into headlines again and again because corruption happens there. You know what happened to that church which was knocked down in Deva, and it happens. Betty Kamya was Minister of Land, and for her now, she will dodge anything to do with her. Anything you bring her, she will go to what? She will go and stop. So corruption, the key areas, they are big, they are 9, they are about 10. In health, corruption happens. You heard what happened when our comrade Aisha died. When she died, then Mama Fina comes and said she was meant to pay 1 million. Government hospital, why pay 1 million? Can you believe it? Corruption is happening in Uganda in key areas that you don't expect, in key areas that makes you embarrassment. The police, the judiciary, the trafficking, the customs, the parliament, the health, administration, land grabbing, and the parliament. And then it happens in illegal aid. This money they give us, but locally they take. Charity they take. Organization, UNICEF. Per year, we get 9 billion US dollars for that money which is coming. All that money is going away, is being washed. So those are the key areas where corruption happens. But it is embarrassment, corruption to happen in parliament. It is very, very embarrassment. Very embarrassment. It shouldn't be. How can that happen in parliament? Lawmakers in parliament now, people, they become MPs when they know they will support a bill and then they'll get money. They were paid 300 million to support Toju Kwatako, lifting of age limit. They were paid 5 million to lift term limits. They were paid 40 millions to say Museveni is the best in the coronavirus. They are being paid money left and right. So corruption is so big. So why does it happen? This corruption happening, we have to look at remuneration. We have to look at the salary, review how are we going to do with this. So corruption to happen because of poor pay, low pay, not enough jobs, meager pay. People, they don't get paid on time, they don't get paid enough. That is a big problem. There is lack of will from Museveni. He reads the report, he leaves it there. This man from Bush, the man who took money from URA was getting 400 million per week. And then he went on to stand for as NRM MP. So where do NRM stand with morals and values? So where you can see where corruption. So there is lack of will to eradicate corruption. Because look at in Rwanda, Kagame went there. They have got the will to eradicate corruption. In Rwanda, there is no corruption. There is zero tolerance. And then we have got the bad governance. Bad governance, I've said to you, when you talk about bad governance, it should be that you look at the charter like this, that you must have transparency, you must have accountability, you must have rule of law, you must have all these bad, good governance. But what is happening in Uganda, the reason there is lack of transparency, lack of accountability. You report somebody that has taken money and you end up being a bad person. You end up being people that don't like you. People that don't want to hear that. They get uncomfortable. But let me tell you, we have to take the chance. We have to take example for China. China, you get involved in corruption, they take you out with all your families. So people, they get very uncomfortable when you show them this chart. They don't want to see it. They don't want to know. But however, it stands there. But as I said to you, there is lack of good governance in Uganda. And another reason it happens, it is a resource for a dictator. Now a dictator doesn't have money. This is how they earn money. They overplay. They ask a lot of money. State House using $1 billion per day. They are asking President Convoy, what happened to the convoy he has got? Anita is buying vehicles. So there is resource for a dictator. Resource, that is my main reason. That is what is keeping Museveni in power, because he's got to buy himself out. Look at Babu. He's soft-spoken, well-spoken, can come and speak, and you listen. But when it came to Toji Kwatako, he was saying no. But when they took him to SEC and give him money, he just gave up. So it is a big, big resource from Seven, because when the money for him, any money which comes, he will take it. He will take it, and he will buy weapons. He will buy all these people like SFC. He will buy all these drones which are on our road. Where do that money come from? It's not coming from heaven. He buys up these people like Brian White. They're gonna come and splash money to you. The people like Balam, they don't have businesses in Uganda. They have got businesses in Sudan, in dollars, but they are behind Muhoozi Kainerugaba. So it becomes a resource for a dictator that he doesn't care, he will get the money and do anything. And another reason behind the nepotism, our president said that he went to school, but there is a school that every people who works on Entebbe airport is more likely to come from there. And corruption is more likely to happen when there is nepotism. Look at the prime minister's office. Nabanja employs 5 people from his family, biological children and other relatives. Tayewa employs people. People who don't have jobs, people, they are being killed in UA, they are being exported, they are slaves, but these people, they give themselves jobs. When you see Museveni has got all the jobs for the family. So, and another reason corruption happens in Uganda, there is no recovery of money. NUP promises to recover money. They cannot recover all this money. If we collect, we don't need to borrow. Uganda has got $1 billion, 21 trillion, 21 billion US dollars. That is in our debt. That is 80 trillion Uganda shillings. So because there is no recovery, but you tell me, if they started collecting this money every day, we would recover. That is what NUP, a solution, is going to have. Then another point, it happens, no system in Uganda. Uganda, said to you, is a failed state. Nothing is independent. So if there is no system in Uganda, how is the money going to be recovered? Who is going to be apprehended? Who is going to be done? Nothing. There is no system there. Then we have got the confusion, which Museveni has admitted. He appointed the IGT. We have got Nakalema anti-corruption. It is a lot of confusion. It can never be. And then we've got cheeky ways of fighting corruption when they went for walk. How can you walk? How will it change? The people who work with you, people who work with Museveni, they were all corrupted people. How can that change? Also, so it is confusion. So the impact is really, really very bad. The people, they no longer have money. There is no money there, and Uganda is starving and is into problem. The solution is to revert the cause, the problem, why corruption happens. There must be zero tolerance from the leadership. From the small, once you ignore small issues, you'll never be able to deal with big issues. You have to start from small. When you go to England, the word being a liar is the biggest insult. They cannot tolerate any sort of corrupt mind, corrupt people. So we have to know that there must be zero tolerance, and the leaders must lead that. They must never feel affiliated with sympathy for anybody. The politics of tokens should go. NUP shouldn't have politics of tokens that I know you, or you are above the law, or you are doing a good job, but because you were involved in corruption, we waive it. No, we should separate. You do a good job, you are being caught up in corruption, you have to be apprehended. That is as simple as that. So NUP promises to have zero tolerance. And the recovery should be there. Money should be recovered, materials should be recovered, assets should be recovered. Because if you don't recover, people, they will go on. We need something for evaluation, that we look at how much you earn, and how do you get this land? How do you buy this vehicle? There must be subsidiaries for civil servants. The people, nurses, health workers, teachers, they can get good houses at affordable payment. They can have vehicles at salary payment. But look at the parliament. MPs, they'll get money, 300 millions for vehicles. Every 5 years, they don't return the old. So there is no recovery at all. We should set examples as deterrent, that there is no, it's not going to be accepted. We need to shame all those involved in corruption. Another solution, which I always say, digital. We NUP, this generation, we have to go digital. Digital, we shall have software which cannot be compromised. Digital, we shall have data entry that we even offer for jobs, people to enter data entry of anything. Then we shall have those people they call computer programmer to help us. And then we shall have data storage which cannot be breached or infiltrated. Data storage, that they have data when you are like this, in 20 years this happened, and these things, they are going to be linked on your personal identification number. And then another solution, we have to try and clear the backlog. Abaana b'ennaku zino ffe tujja kulwana nnyo. We are here to talk about issues that affect Uganda. So I've told you where corruption mostly happens. I've told you what really prompted me to come and speak today, because when you look at Idi Amin, he was a president, but he did not even have bank account. But what we have got other people bank account. Look at recent Idi Amin.
No, I am not rich. I am one of the poor leader in the world, and my intention is to work for my people, but not for me. That is the reason why you know that if you check all banks all over the world, in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, in the United States of America, you will never find account belong to me, because I work for the people of Uganda. I am a founder of the economic independence of Uganda.
Do you wake up sometimes and feel, you know what, this is too much for me. This is too much. You don't feel appreciated enough.
It doesn't matter, because I'm working for myself. I'm not working for other people. I'm working for my grandchildren, for my children.
So that is that is a contrast of leaders. One doesn't have bank accounts abroad. One who has. One works for the people. One works for himself and the grandchildren. So if you listen to this as I end, this is the dilemma for Uganda. If Museveni, that is what is keeping him in power. If he comes up with this report and doesn't do anything, that means he's part of corruption. He supports corruption, but as a president, he has got everything on his disposal to stop corruption, and he didn't do anything. So how, if 2021 corruption was 70%, so 2023, what is corruption in police? A police meant to safeguard people. So this is what
an assessment from the Inspector General of Government, and each one of you would get a copy. The IGG, this was issued on the 1st of March 2021. It is the latest IGG report about corruption in the country. The cap was taken of corruption was taken by police general, the general police. I think these are the ones in uniform. You scored 70% in corruption. So you got a distinction in corruption. This is the police general. Traffic police were the runners-up in corruption. They got 67%. CID police, 57%. Courts of law, land tribunals, 53%. Land offices, 53%. Public health facilities, hospitals, health centers, 47%. District Service Commissions, 45%. Agriculture Extension Services, NADS, Operation Wealth Creation. So Sare also got some. He scored some. He was the number 8 in the corruption. So then my problem is, but what happened to my educated people, whom I struggled so much?
Yeah, Museveni, embarrassment yourself. There is no excuse. You should be able to deal with the corruption. You should find the ways. It's not one way of arresting, but you should pay people very well. We should have a remuneration review. You cannot fight corruption. Corruption is eating Uganda. Corruption is endangering the lives of people. That there is no service delivery because the money is being mismanaged. These people who are corrupt, they are walking away. So you need to go back to what they call good governance. You have never seek any sort of accountability. So how are you going to fight corruption? To fight corruption is needed in Uganda as soon as possible. Uganda cannot be as bad as that. All we have to do is to look at ourselves and know exactly what to do. So as I've told you, corruption is one reason, big reason is keeping Museveni in power, because this is how he diverts the money into these drones, arresting people, buying off people, buying weapons, buying these machineries, whatever it is. So for that, I end up. So Beth Kamia, she said there is no recording, no cameras at Entebbe Airport. That is what prompted me. How can IGG side up with the people who are involved in corruption? NUP, we shouldn't be like that. We should never side up with the people who are involved in corruption. Whether it is small, don't say it is very little money. That little money is going to end up in a big behavior. The people, they start with a little, they go on to bigger and bigger and bigger, and we don't want that to happen in NUP. So we are clean for now, and we say, as I said to you, people power, our power. So please, I encourage you to listen to the video when our president was on Para FM. It is full of about 15 points. I've reported about 14, and all the best to the prisoners, all the best for those who are not well, all the best for we that we want change. People power, our power, NUP everywhere, everywhere, NUP salute. People power. Thank you, comrade.